Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have got a deck for all of you guys out there today on this Squirrel Saturday called Moral Symbiosis. Now, if you're like me, a little tired of heat waves, you want to play Symbiosis, you don't want to commit to Ethne because she doesn't really have a great payoff. You still like Oneiromancy with Novigradian Justice, but you just want to get as many Treants out there with some decent removal, but not over the top. Well, this is the deck for you. We've worked in Synthesis, which I'm saying correctly this time, or Saskia for short. But we can use her with some of these Circle of Lives and Dunka for some really great value to carry over. Vrihid Dragoons, and then a bunch of nature cards with Hamadryads. Fob for consistency, Isengrim, and Call of the Forest also for just some fantastic consistency. And thinning with this card, Gord is a great finisher, but also Synthesis, as we just said. Just such great carryover value that she brings to the table, and decent point play. I wouldn't call her point slam. But let's jump into a game, show you guys a little bit how this deck works. Candidly, if pushed, somebody demanded an answer from me, I would probably say the normal Becker's Rock Slide version is probably a little bit better in a direct matchup to this deck, but so many decks are built right now to counter that specific version. I find this one to be pretty good as an alternative with a little bit more points. So here we want to get rid of Volunteers since they are a dead card with this Novigradian Justice. I do want to be careful about what else I draw into here. And I also know that this deck, Precision Strike, likes to go into 3 rounds. So if we can pressure them out early, all the better. I do want to try to see if I can get Dunka, and I do. We're going to finish redrawing here. Oh, ele'yas goes back into the deck too. ele'yas is like awesome play with Isengrim's Council. So that's what we're going to plan to do with him. Here, I love being on blue coin with Dunka. It feels like every game I've been playing lately, I always get red coin with her, which is a little unfortunate because she is so great on the blue coin, using that tactical advantage with the pre-planted veil. We can get those boosts onto so many of these great cards to find good value. Miner is also in this deck, mostly just for Hamadryad, give her a little bit of girth before she lands on the board and sticks out there. So Dwarven Agitators, I've just played against a deck like this where Sheldon Skaggs is the pull at the end of the game. He's a decent way to play, but again, it needs time to develop. It needs time to get ready to go. All God is likely also in the deck, and the goal will be to get them out with Leader. Looks like our opponent bricked into Mahakam Volunteers a little bit. Typically, the target is Novigradian Justice. Here, we're just going to go ahead and get our Hamadryad down.
'Tis my tree. I was born. I shall die with it.
Well, if you listen closely, you can hear the squirrel's noise when you play her. Obviously, you have to have the special version of the card if you were. But this really just not great tempo or cadence. I think the opponent here just looking to get out of the round as soon as possible. And that's fine with us. Now, we don't have any Treants, so you do always want to get a Treant before playing Nature's Rebuke. So here we're going to go for Tempering. That's going to get us out a 2-point Treant, get some bonus points onto the Miner. And so I do like having more nature cards than the typical non-devotion card deck has, just for that reason. Circle of Life, a little bit weird here. It's possible the opponent only has 1 card in the deck. So we're going to go for Fob into Shaping Nature. And we will take the Vitality version, plant that onto Hamadryad. Just so many points that we get from that play. 2-point Treant coming from the Symbiosis. 5 points of boost onto the Hamadryad, and then an additional 5 points of Vitality. And here we get the Dunka carryover. We get 4 points of boost into our hand that we're able to carry over to a different round. Oh. Like I said before, though, the opponent's deck does like to play Quicken Outs. We haven't used our Neuromancy yet, so we're planning to use that here shortly. I don't want to draw into too many cards because I don't want to brick. Circle of Life doesn't really have all that great a synergy with what we have here, though. So we're going to set that aside. Again, don't want to break into a Mahakam Volunteer, so we're just going to save that. And here... so Isengrim's Council onto ele'yas is often a really phenomenal tempo play. Don't need to make that yet. I'd rather focus on thinning here. We'll see what the opponent gets out. But we may just be good with this play, since we essentially have to play down 2 cards the whole time. Okay, Ithleen tells me that they are targeting that card. Okay, here, I think we really will go for ele'yas. It is really good tempo. So the best way to grab him, in my opinion, you go Neuromancy, you grab Isengrim's Council. That's gonna spawn a 1 power tree, and we get ele'yas out. Kill the tree and spawn the 2 Deadeyes. That puts us up by 20 points, forcing the opponent to make some tougher choices. It is going to be a nice thick Sheldon that they are planning to drop down here. Let's see if we can force it out this round. We are up by 17 points. So a Sheldon would mate that so long as they get the damage plus the value of the card. So for example, a 16-point Sheldon would actually be worth 24 points because of the damage that they would do to ele'yas here. This Circle of Life and potentially the Precision Strikes bringing out the Brocklon Sentinels. So I'm fine with this. Force the opponent to use all the leader charges and also the tempo of the Sentinels. That works for us. It also means I don't have to worry about playing around an obnoxious self-ping on a Shiru. Now I don't really need 2 of these Dryad Caresses. Alright, so this Call of the Forest is actually quite nice on 2 Hamadryad. So Synthesis we can get out using our other card here. I think I'm going to put back this other Dryad's Crest as well. Okay, Miner works fine. So this is why we include Right-Hit Dragoon for Hawker Smugglers or other similar types of cards that are row-locked, but also for defenders. I find really great value. And now that they're only 4 provisions, they're just so cheap to include. They're also so great because you can use them defensively onto the range row to move back Dunka, for example, so you can use her leader ability. So lots of options that you have with that card. The opponent here going for Dryad's Crest with Fob. I think that is great value. See if they move back this Hawker Smuggler themselves. Here we'll go for Miner, just so we can develop this Hamadryad. Nature's Rebuke plays a little clunky, only 4 points of damage there, and it doesn't boost up anything on the opponent's side. Here we'll go ahead and remove this Fov, and we'll just boost up Gord for some nice girth. Gets us a Treant as well, so now we can play this Nature's Rebuke without having to worry about it. Now we do need our Hamadryad out in order to find maximum value with Shaping Nature. I'll probably do that with Call of the Forest, since on Neuromancy can grab Synthesis quite nicely that way as well. But I like getting the extra point on her. We do miss the 1 point had we played her with Oneiromancy and then gotten out to Synthesis with Call of the Forest. Did Wandering Treant would have played for 2. So we would have got 1 additional point there. Alright, so that's unfortunate, but was not out of the blue. We did kind of anticipate that play. So here, actually, so Synthesis is going to play for the same number of points regardless of when we play her. So we're just going to go ahead and get her out. Nothing the opponent can do about it without an Igni or a Yrden. Obviously, Yrden would be meaningless and she's already at her base value. But she does play just so nicely outside of the opponent's range. Now here the question is, when and where do you want to play your Shaping Nature? We're not going to be able to get maximum value out of the Vitality, but we're going to get close. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Since it will get 4 of those, that's worth 9 points. And we don't have to use this leader charge until next round. And here, kind of just playing around a Shiru. This boosted Skags had just fallen off in my mind. Should have been playing around that a little bit better. So, the Circle of Life and or Tempering and Nature's Rebuke all play for the same value right now. All for 5 points since we're not getting removal. So I'm just going to go ahead here and use Forest Protector. So again, these all play for the same value. I'd rather protect this score. Should have been... So I was running a prior version of this deck with Igni. Oh, I wish I had it now. Every game I included, I wish I didn't. Every game I do, I wish I didn't. Alright, so this heat wave was expected, anticipated, whatever you want to say. Kind of knew that was coming. I don't think we're going to have quite enough juice to overcome the opponent here. Geralt Professional only getting 3 damage. So he will kill this Treant. So I think we just miss out here. The opponent beating us out just by a solid 3 points. But we do get really close. Like I said, just a little bit of finagling we missed out there. The opponent was able to get Sheldon really early into their hand and get maximum value out of him. So really great play on their part. But it is very RNG dependent. Geralt Professional is a good card, but he is a little bit tricky to use most of the time. I think Precision Strike makes a great deal of sense with him because you can get a card whittled down to a multiple of 3, relatively easy. You know, obviously there's 3 leader procs there that you can make good use out of. Alright, Shieldwall is also typically very problematic with this deck, but we're going to use its row boostage swarm to great efficiency here. Alright, I kind of want 1 of each of them, that way I get options for my Force Protector. Nature's Rebuke typically is the greatest value, but I like options. This looks all pretty good to me. I don't want to break into those Mahogany Volunteers. Now I am going to use Call of the Forest here to get Dunka, just because she is such great value. I could alternatively, if I had missed Shaping Harmony, get Fauve just to make sure we get Shaping Harmony. But again, I think actually Oneiromancy will work just fine for it. Let's just use Oneiromancy. We have Novigradian Justice, which is typically the card I save for Oneiromancy. Onsace is problematic here, where Onsace can go ahead and remove Dunka right away, but I would be happy trading Dunka for Onsace. You cannot use Nature's Gift onto Dunka. Yeah, here again, happy to use it against an Onsace, especially with the Shieldwall. Viraxis does not have formation round 1, so this Onsace has kind of found his maximum value and is going to be sitting at that value all on his own. And Duncan did represent 1 point per turn of carryover value, but that was directed either this Hamadryad or Forest Protector. So now we can kind of play a little bit more freely. Not much the opponent can do about the Hamadryad at this point. I anticipate Amphibious Assault here, grabbing like a Carrick Frigate. It's nothing if not predictable from Northern Realms. Does come out pre-boosted, which is really helpful. But here we only have Forest Protector, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and use Circle of Life here. Get that pre-damage, we get our Forest Protector out, we spawn a Treant, and set up that 5-point kill with our Nature's Rebuke. I don't mind spending one more leader charge on this Hamadryad to keep that carryover value going. If we can remove this frigate. Seeing as we won't be able to because they're boosting it, we're just going to go ahead and use Shaping Nature here. Again, should Hamadryads get to a point where they get so large that cards like on Sace and Selkirk can't do anything about them anyway, this Hamadryad is very close to that territory. They can take down an 18-point unit when they're boosted up to 6. This Boiling Oil plays really nicely here, able to remove that boost on the Hamadryad, but here we'll just go for Dryad's Caress. We're now firmly outside of the range of where Northern Realms can deal with it. Here we are able to get out the opponent's second Carrick Frigate. We'll see if they use a shield. They do not. So we're just going to go ahead and use Nature's Rebuke here. The longer and deeper into this round we go, the happier I am, to be honest. And we're going to try to just get away with as few of the tempo card plays as possible. I think Novigradian Justice is my preferred option. It's worth a little bit less, and it is a better thinning play than the ele'yas play is. Here the opponent's deck is almost overwhelmingly full. Forest Protector is enough though, so we are going to use him onto Nature's Rebuke to remove this Drummer. Still really great value. We take a commanding, and what I'm hoping is a decisive lead of 15 points. See how long, how hot and heavy this opponent is willing to go. They are passing. We are happy with that move. Now we do want to pressure Northern Realms into spending as many of their cards as possible in round 2. Just because they like to have rounds go the way they like to have them go. I don't know, there's not a better way to put that. But Shieldwall is not the premier deck for that reason. It just really struggles fighting against decks that want to make it do things it doesn't want to do. Here I'm not going to dig any further. We'll just save Gord, that's fine. And we're just going to be playing out Novigradian Justice, Isengrim's Council, and perhaps Call of the Forest, but I kind of doubt it. So, first play, Novigradian Justice. Again, we just want to thin out our deck as much as possible. Also get great tempo, and this works really well for that. Now, Northern Realms has to decide pretty quickly whether or not it wants to have a tempo round or a slow round. That's hard to kind of change course midway through a round. Forgive my son, he's just waking up.
Aye, aye, sir.
Dun Banner is a fun card to play. Now, if we want to be really cheeky here, we could use a Neuromancy to grab like Synthesis. I'm gonna get it. Don't worry, guys. I have like a hard time getting that word out. But another cheeky play we can do, and I actually think I like this here, is go for Hamadryad, forcing the opponent to really get out of Selkirk if they want to stay in this round. So we're going to do that actually by using Call of the Forest. We're going to grab that Hamadryad. Ooh. Actually, Fauve is probably even a little bit better. No, we're going for Hamadryad. Fauve would have been another really good option.
Come to me, little one.
But Selkirk, you can't deal with her right away. We're going to get her boosted up with this Vitality. And then we're going to be able to go a little bit further. Forcing out this Amphibious Assault here. I'm guessing this is going to come down with a Selkirk. Nope. Donimir and then probably Visigodo deranged. So here we're going to just go ahead and use Shaping Nature. We're going to use that 5 Vitality right onto that Hamadryad. Try to get her quickly out of range. Visigodo coming down. I think actually we're going to take the pass here.
Critical thinking, the sign of a healthy mind.
Well, let's actually go one more card. And we do have this one power Treant. We're just going to take that one out. And we might even actually play this Oneiromancy onto Fauve. And grab like grab this Circle of Life just for carryover value.
Rumors travel faster than the wind.
Well, seeing this play from the opponent, the Oneiromancy gets 4 total points to the opponent. So the delta really just isn't there for us. We're just going to take the pass. Little man is out. He is about and he is coming to say hello during our filming. If you have not joined on Twitch stream, you may not have heard the little Mr. Pickles, as we call him around here. But he's always a good time. This Bloody Baron obviously represents great value for the opponent. We do take this damage, so this is a little bit unfortunate for us. I think the opponent is going to be able to pass. Lucky draw that way. They barely were able to make that in under the gun. But we were able to get out some of their really good cards. You saying hello? Hello. He's waving down below the camera. For children protection rights, I cannot show him or feature him in this channel. But if he wants to make noise, we're gonna let him make noise. Alright, looking for Fauve here. Vrihid Draguno is going to be clutch. Tempering really just not all that valuable. We are able to get Fauve. We really want her just so we get an extra 2 points with whichever one of these cards we're going to play. Potentially Dryad's Caress. But Vrihid Dragoon is very important for Selkirk. There are no more units like giving defense, protection to units out there, so it's kind of as good as it gets, so to speak. We will keep this Nature's Rebuke, and we'll go for Fauve here. And we're just going to go ahead and put Dryad's Crest down on her. They get some decent value. She'll get bulked up to 8 points. And we get that 1 point Treant, which can be the recipient of this Nature's Rebuke boost. Synthesis will be our Oneiromancy pull. Stranger's very good. Smart choice of the shield. I really like that. We're just going to pull a Synthesis here. Because there's nothing the opponent can do about her. We don't have to use this proc until the end of next turn. Until 2 more turns, so. Now we do take this random damage from this Tridem infantry, so this is a little bit frustrating to deal with. But Selkirk is my bigger fear. But that said, he is getting 2 points of boost and damage, so it's actually 4 points, which is 8 points over the next 2 turns. So we're actually just going to move him off. Just reduce the value of this here. We can wait until next turn to use this boost. So Fauve is a great target for that. Reynard is going to pass this boost between the two of them. Looks like it's not going to be Selkirk. It's just going to come down to who has the better last card. It is not going to be Boiling Oil, I'll tell you that much. This passive boost still really valuable for the opponent, though. But not quite enough to get away from a nice 16-point gourd. So we take the win. So anyway, better than Shieldwall. Like I said before, though, Shieldwall is a hard deck to play when it's not on your own terms. Winning round one is very crucial. But let me know what you guys think about this deck. Until next time, get out there. Good luck on the path. Keep on Gwenting.